Yeah, those 0 jerseys are going to go crazy.
This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How we doing today on a Thursday? It's the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. Hope you and yours are doing well. Hope you are getting ready for a big old weekend ahead. Friday's coming. It's almost here, guys, so just hang on. We are live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, right here off McFarland Boulevard. We're sponsored by Derek Daniel State Farm Insurance. We're also sponsored by Purple Turtle Roofing, so I appreciate both those great companies taking care of us. They can take care of you. Call Derek for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Call Dustin Foley and Brax Garrison at 877-787-6635 for all of your roofing needs. Purple Turtle Roofing will come out and give you a free roof inspection today. Make sure that you have the peace of mind that you deserve in your home. Roofing with heart, built to last. Purple Turtle Roofing. We appreciate both those companies sponsoring the show. We're live. We're here on a Thursday with our man Mason Woods. You can find the show on the Bama Central YouTube channel, on the Bama Central Facebook page. You can find the show on Apple Podcast, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. You can find the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. We invite you to jump in and join us at Joe Gaither 6 at MA Woods _ in the Bama Central YouTube comments, or you can leave us a voicemail at 205-462-7340 extension 800. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to talk about Yhonzae Pierre returning to the Crimson Tide. We're going to use his return to look at the defense as a whole, look at the transfer portal rumors. You got 2 more days to hang on. 2 more days to hang on to all these Alabama football players because the transfer portal closes on Friday. Now, the transfer portal closes on Friday. Alabama is not going to be done adding players on Friday. You just have to be in the portal by Friday if you want to find a new school. So we'll see really what happens with Alabama over the next couple of days, but we're going to talk about the defensive side of the football today because of Yhonzae Pierre's announced return and just rumors that are out there. So we're going to do all that with Mason Woods. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods _ on the Twitter machine. Writing recruiting for all of the Walsh Writing Network. Vanderbilt Commodores on SI, BamaCentral.com, of course, Missouri Tigers on SI, and Boston College on SI. Mason Woods, good morning. How are you, sir?
Doing good, doing good. You know, you mentioned it right there. Had a little bit of recruiting news to get into yesterday, so we can talk about that at some point. And,
yeah, let's go right to it.
Actually gave me something to do. It's been a real dry spell on the recruiting front just because time of year, you know, things slow down a lot as the transfer portal heats up. But, yeah, Alabama sending out a big-time some would call it a big time. I'm going to call it a big time 2027 offer. He's an unranked prospect out of Thompson High School in Alabaster. Junior James, 6'3", 192-pound safety. He does not play like an unranked player. You go check his huddle tape out. He is flying all around the field. He's making plays. He is a absolute thumper coming down to make plays at the line of scrimmage as well. I've known about this guy for a while. He was on campus, I think, back in November for an unofficial visit. And, you know, I've been just kind of watching him a little bit. I think I had his stats here from this past season at Thompson, which, you know, Thompson won state championship, obviously, with their 3rd in 4 years, I think. 66 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 7 pass deflections, and 3 interceptions this season. So, don't really know why he's unranked, to be honest with you. He has a really impressive list of offers. He's got offers from Georgia, Auburn, Ole Miss, Michigan, Georgia Tech, all these big-time schools. I think he just maybe isn't quite hitting the camp circuit like other people
that just shows you those rankings are often heavily skewed.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think Alabama, you know, it is technically, you can call it, I guess, a diamond in the rough kind of situation here. I think there's a lot of other big-time Power 4 programs that are also in on Mr. Junior James, but I think Alabama's standing is pretty good. From everything I've seen him on his just own personal, you know, accounts and everything, he seems to be a Bama guy. He trains with Nalu Tagovailoa in that whole, you know, stratosphere of things there. So I feel pretty good about Alabama maybe landing a commitment from him at some point in the future.
Junior James sounds like a name that's generated for the college football 26 game.
It does.
Sounds like a video game you just randomly generated name.
If I don't know, and I can't confirm one way or the other, haven't heard back from him. I do think that it may be a nickname situation, and his actual name is a Hawaiian, I like the Tagovailoa family.
I got you.
I think he
a mouthful.
Yes, I don't know, but his Instagram handle and his Twitter handle lead me to believe that may not be what his actual name is.
Okay, so he's probably the son of the same name.
Something.
Right. Well, we'll see. Junior, rising
Junior
senior.
James. Yeah, he'll be a senior this year.
Okay, class of that. Golly, what is that going to make him? We're now focused on the class of 27.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We have shifted focus to 27 now. Teammates with Trent Seaborn, the other Alabama commit.
Right.
Not that they play alongside each other, really, opposite sides of the field, but
they make each other better in practice.
There we go. If we can ever maybe get Junior James on the show, we'll have to ask him how many times he's picked off Trent Seaborn in practice.
Every day, every day I get him. I'm sure is what that's going to be.
But yeah, go check him out if you want to just watch some a pretty impressive player. Go check his huddle tape out. You can see about a 3.5 minute junior season highlight there. He plays a little bit of corner, a little bit of safety. He kind of does it all in the defensive backfield there.
Well, we opened up the show yesterday with I don't think we opened up with it, but we had news yesterday morning. Matt Zenitz reporting that Yhonzae and Yhonzae Pierre would be returning for their redshirt senior and redshirt junior year, respectively. It took a long time until Alabama confirmed Yhonzae Pierre's return. Yhonzae's return is still yet to be confirmed. I would still expect that to be confirmed probably today by Alabama. But let's just focus on Yhonzae Pierre and what that means for Alabama's defense, because what I want to do today is talk about the defense. I want to talk about where you stand at linebacker, at defensive lineman, really all three defensive line positions. I want to talk about the defensive. The defensive back room, I think, is loaded. I think is incredibly loaded. But you may have areas of need in the first two levels. You may not. But first, you get probably the marquee player back. I want to say marquee player, but obviously Bray Hubbard's going to have some say in that. Xavier Brown's going to have some say in that as well. But I think that Yhonzae Pierre is in the top three most important players on this defense in 2026. Just your reaction to his return, I'm changing my number to 0. Obviously, that doesn't matter. It's just aesthetics. But just what he's going to bring to the defense. What do you think about adding Yhonzae Pierre, redshirt junior Yhonzae Pierre?
I think you're exactly right. While, Bray Hubbard and it may get some of the, the bit more of the fan love because he's recognized by season out there. Like the positional value from Yhonzae Pierre, I think, he can impact the game maybe a little more than a safety can. He can be that guy providing pressure to the quarterback, play in, play out. And he showed last year that he's able to do that. I think you get back a guy who is a proven talent at that position. You get back a guy that can produce at that position because he did it last season. So yeah, I'm very happy. I love the switch to 0. I know it doesn't actually do anything, but there's a mentality that comes with wearing 0. I think Deontay Lawson showed it a lot last year. I'm looking forward to see Yhonzae Pierre show it this year, and maybe it becomes a trend for Alabama.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool to have? I know it's not high school, but my high school, we always passed down 17, went to the best senior defender because before I was even born, the high school had a player who wore 17 who was pretty dedicated, pretty good, pretty incredible, and died in a car accident. It became a thing.
Yeah. LSU does it. With 7 and what's the other one they do? They do 2, I think.
7 and 12. Is that it?
That might be right. I can't
7
remember.
and 14. What did Garrett Nussmeier wear this year?
It might be 14.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. But I would like to see Alabama take 18.
18. That's right. Okay, right.
Number 7 for dynamic playmakers and 18 for selfless leaders.
There you go. There you go.
Can we not just give one player a number and say you're the guy this year?
Go Tigers. But Deontay Lawson the last 2 years wearing 0, and Yhonzae Pierre acknowledging Deontay Lawson in his little social media thing to just want to pick up where my brother left off kind of thing.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it would be very cool to have a tradition like that. So where everybody knows, hey, 0 out there, you got to find 0 on Alabama's defense every year because that dude's a butt kicker.
Yeah, you might start selling a lot more jerseys too. Who knows?
Yhonzae might be onto something.
I think he
Yhonzae
is.
might be onto something. All the Deontay Lawson lovers out there who are still buying Deontay Lawson jerseys. He's like, hey, I'm gonna cash in on that.
Yeah.
Much like Richard Young wore number 9, and a lot of the all the Bryce Young lovers. We're throwing money into the Richard Young NIL pile. Yhonzae Pierre this year was all 15 games, ended up with 52 total tackles, ended up with 14 and a half tackles for a loss, 8 sacks.
That's a pretty dang good season.
That's a really good, especially when you consider he wasn't starting the first 3, 4, 5 games, 2, 3, 4 games. He was a rotational player where Rousseau gets hurt and Yhonzae steps up as the starter, but he goes from rotational player to starter. And I think in a full-time role, he has really, really shown you that he can be a disruptor, a disruptive force and a disruptor, and gives you flashes of a 2017, 2016, 2015 defender type, especially in the front 7. And it's been, I mean, Will Anderson was a minute ago. Dallas Turner was a minute ago. Obviously, those guys were amazing, but there was, a 3-year gap or so before you felt like you had a real pass rusher in Yhonzae Pierre.
Yeah.
And I think when you got to the college football playoff this year, you felt like Yhonzae was, I don't know if you want to go A+, but a pretty A level pass rusher.
Yeah, I mean, he provided pretty consistent pressure there, in that Oklahoma, and there wasn't anything you were doing against Indiana. I mean, he
get a sack on the first drive?
He was in on that first sack on the first drive. So, I mean, one of the few bright spots that you could take away from that game was him.
Right.
I mean, I look, 8 sacks this year. I don't want to, lace too heavy expectations, but like, I don't see why he
12.
I don't see why he couldn't be a 12 to 15 sack guy next season.
Yeah, that'd be incredible. That'd be a really big deal for Alabama. 3 forced fumbles this past season, knocked down 1 pass. So
still himself a lot of money too if he does that.
I think he made himself a pretty decent amount of money in yesterday.
Sure.
I think that Matt Zenitz basically. I think Matt Zenitz let the cat out of the bag that he's not going to the NFL draft. And I think the reason it took till, what was it, 10 o'clock? It was 9:55. It was something like that.
10.
I was making my tea right before bed, still trying to feel just a little bit better. And Hunter was having some cereal, some late night cereal, and
Classic.
Boom, he goes, oh my God, yeah, and he goes over to his computer and hits publish because he already had it basically ready.
That's a great feeling right there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it is a great feeling, but he told me, he's like, I've had Twitter open all day waiting for this news.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, man, sorry about that.
The ebbs and flows.
So he was ready for it, but I don't think it was like contentious by any means.
No.
That's not what I'm trying to paint a picture of, but I do think that there was some negotiations back and forth of, what are we going to get paid next year? And look, if you're going to talk about what are we going to get paid next year, you better have 8 sacks. You better have 14 and a half tackles for a loss. You better be a butt kicker like Yhonzae Pierre is. Like, I don't have any problem with him going to this. And I think the staff, whoever's allocating the money, Courtney Morgan, I think that this is the right, hey, we got to get this done.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't want to say whatever it takes. I don't want to paint a picture like he got like $10 million. Sure. But I do think that he got a pretty nice little raise yesterday.
I would imagine so, and deservingly so.
Right. And so, hey, 1-year contracts, you did 8 sacks this past year. We'll pay you for that. And plus, plus a little bump.
Yeah, maybe they backloaded some incentives in there if he reaches a certain amount.
So I think that's why it took till 10 o'clock to have Alabama confirm it. I don't necessarily think the same conversations are happening with Keon Sabb. A little bit, but not completely. I think Keon Sabb is not yet confirmed by Alabama, mostly because I think Keon Sabb is super low key. I don't really think that he is a social media, I gotta be in the news type of player. I don't think Yhonzae is it really either. I think Yhonzae plays on Instagram a little bit sometimes. He definitely did during the Tennessee during Tennessee week, which that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't think Keon Sabb's that type of. I bet you don't see an announcement by Alabama because I bet you he's like, I don't care.
It wouldn't shock me, and I'm sure, like you're kind of alluding to, there's a bit of a process of like, hey, do you want us to post this? And they kind of tell them yes or no. And I would imagine Yhonzae just doesn't even respond to the question.
Yeah. So, but you got to hang on to Yhonzae for another day and a half. Make sure that he doesn't go into
Make sure he
the
doesn't go to Texas.
Right. Exactly. Make sure you don't go in the portal. Ooh. Now, you would survive it, of course. Like, did you hear Cole Kubick this past week?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Cole Kubick was going crazy at Auburn fans. Crazy in quotations. Was getting his blood pressure elevated. That's a little better. He was getting a little excited at Auburn fans because they were all crying about Cam Coleman. They were crying about Deuce Knight. They were crying about some of the losses.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Why are we caring about guys who are asking for $3 million and these guys aren't team players and these guys aren't, no single player. I'm never going to lose my mind over one single player." And he was talking about, I want 20. He named some name that I don't know. Some Auburn, try hard, some Auburn really dedicated player. I want 20 Billy Smiths, not one Cam Coleman, not one Deuce Knight. Da, 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 da. And he threw in, give me 20 Jeremy Bernards and I've got a roster.
Yeah.
I don't think that where was I going? I don't think that Yhonzae's playing the money game.
No, I don't either.
At all. But I don't think that if you do lose him, like, you're not going to be.
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I'm not going
to lose my mind over Keon Keeley.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sad that he's gone to Notre Dame. I wish that he were here to keep developing. But
at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Exactly. Like, he's gone. He's got himself a raise. He's maybe found himself a better fit for him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose my mind. The staff shouldn't have let Keon Keeley go.
Yeah.
Jordan Renaud. Why did the staff let Jordan Renaud go? Why did the staff let Kelby Collins go?
It's just not worth getting upset over.
No, because you're just going to bring 20 more players in as freshmen, and you're going to bring 12 to 15 more players in the transfer portal. And, hey, man, we're going to work with what we got.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really any sense in getting upset over it because there's nothing you can control as fans. There's nothing we can control as media. Like, it just is going to happen. It just is what it is. This is the way the game is played now. We all have to adjust accordingly.
Keith Connell, Roll Tide from El Paso, Pollo Hermano. Yes, sir. I hope you're doing well out there in New Mexico. Not El Paso, El Pollo Hermano. The brain fog is real today. I asked Mason what his Twitter handle was as I loaded things up, even though I've typed it in every daggum day, and I've said it every daggum day. It's M.A. Woods _. Go follow Mason Woods. I said, is it M.A. Woods 2 _? Is it Mason Woods? The brain fog is real today. I'm feeling better, but
we're almost through the week.
Yeah, I'm on the back end of a small cold.
Yeah.
I'm not sick. I'm not down. I'm just on the back end of a tiny cold, and the brain fog is real. So I didn't even read Keith Connell's comment correctly there. Roll Tide to you, Keith. I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything that there's any single player. Like, look. Even if you lost either of these two quarterbacks in the next 36 hours, I'm not going to be, well, good luck.
I might lose a little sleep. I might lose just a touch of sleep.
If you kept one, you'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll just throw Johnny Walk-On when he gets hurt week 4.
No, you're throwing Jet Tamala.
Yeah.
Taden Kawa.
Yeah, sure.
You're set.
But two guys that have played very high-level football at this point in their lives.
Let's address one more question before we really look at this defensive depth chart, where it stands right now. James Ludeman, appreciate your comment and your time. Got a basketball question. What is the ceiling for this team? I think they make the tourney, but do they have the ability to win the conference? First part, yes, they're going to make the tournament. They're probably right now looking at a 3-4 seed, 6-7 seed. No, 3-4 seed is kind of where I think he's probably trending. But do they have the ability to win the conference? Well, last night helped. Texas
certainly helped.
Texas beating the brakes off of Vanderbilt. It certainly helped. And then Tennessee beat A&M, right? So that helped on Tuesday. You are one game off of the conference lead. You're at 2-2. The conference leaders are at 3-1. Now, obviously, Vanderbilt's at 3-1, and they have the tiebreaker over you. So you want you're really kind of technically 2 games behind Vanderbilt, but 1 game behind everybody else. I definitely think they can win the conference. I don't really trust the team's consistency. I'll say that. And I think consistency is what you need to win the SEC, to win any conference regular season. I don't really trust their consistency. They're at 2-2. Missouri, Vandy, Arkansas, A&M, and Florida all at 3-1. You get you a matchup with Florida here coming up 2 weeks, basically. So if you could take that, now you got to go down to Gainesville, and that's going to be a humongous challenge. They seem to be clicking. They seem to have had a challenging non-conference start, but have been clicking lately. They went to Oklahoma this week and beat the dog mess out of them. Now, I don't think Oklahoma is like incredible, but to do that on the road it is impressive. So you've got matchups with Florida. You do have a matchup ahead. You got matchups ahead with all these teams except Vanderbilt. And so you can get them back and get your win over them. Do I think they're capable of that? I do. But just the consistency factor is the big question mark to me, James, because you have injury issues. Are you going to get Keaton Bristow? Are you going to get Taylor Bowen back? I don't think you should count on Davion Hanna or Collins Onyejaka at all. And I kind of don't think you should count on Latrell Wrightsell either. Latrell coming back from the Achilles, I think Latrell put everything into his return. I think Latrell put everything into his rehab and did everything he could to the max, and maybe too much to the max. And I'm not even criticizing Latrell at all, because I think he just worked so hard. But I think the other leg is giving him trouble. Not the Achilles leg, but the other leg. And you know this if you've watched knee rehabs, leg rehabs, ankle, Achilles. Like sometimes it's the other leg that, I'm focusing so much on the surgery leg that the other leg, the overcompensation, I think he's been dealing with a little bit of trouble with the other leg. And I think you're probably going to go about 2 to 3 weeks at least without Latrell on the team, available. He's on the team, but available to play. And so like your health situation is really not good. It's really not good. I really like how you've seen Aiden Terrell play more confidently lately. I really like what you saw out of LeBaron on Tuesday. I think that, and not just on Tuesday, but other times through the year. But he took a little step back at the end of non-conference play and the start of conference play. Tuesday, I think, was big for him to really get going. And I think Aiden Terrell getting going, we talked about it on Wednesday morning. When Aiden can go 2 of 6 from 3 and stand out on the 3-point line and draw that big out, well, my man LeBaron can drive the lane and get in there and be a finisher. I do think this team can win the league. Would I bet money on it? Not a chance. I would consider it a gift to win the league. I think it's, well, when I say percentage wise, 20% chance. Maybe that's a little too high. 25% chance maybe feels a little too high.
I think given the way the schedule shakes out, like you've got a good chance to basically within the next 2 weeks have yourself right there at second in the league behind Vanderbilt, because you've got games against Texas A&M coming up. You got a game against Florida coming up. You got a game against Missouri coming up. Arkansas, I guess you don't have. So, Arkansas, there we go. 2 weeks later, February 7th.
Yeah, you got them down the road.
You've got a chance to to absolutely get back up to right up there at the top of the league. Now, you just got to kind of, you don't necessarily control your own destiny here because you don't get a rematch with Vanderbilt. So you're going to have to hope that the Commodores continue to maybe fall a bit after last night. I don't think that's out of the question. I think Vanderbilt's a very good basketball team, but this is a tough league, and you're going to lose games in the SEC. It just is what it is. So, they definitely have the chance to get there. Now, would I feel good about betting on them to win the SEC tournament? Maybe not. Regular season title, I think, is still within grasp, though.
I mean, Vanderbilt's got a tough stretch. Vanderbilt, their next game is against Florida and then at Arkansas. So you could conceivably get back above them in the standings in the next two games. But I mean, it's just health. Like you said, health is holding this team back so much right now. It's so hard to project what they're going to do when you're missing 2 to 3 guys every night. Dang, their end of the SEC schedule is pretty tough too. Vanderbilt, their last 5 games are Tennessee, Georgia at home, at Kentucky, home versus Ole Miss, and then at Tennessee. Ooh. Well, and then you got to throw in the 2 games before. I mean, the SEC is just so hard. The 2 games before that, you got A&M at home and at Missouri. Yeah, I mean, you look around the league, it's like, all right, we can make, everybody can probably beat up on South Carolina. Everybody can beat up on LSU.
Yeah, LSU. I mean, even LSU got up big, and now they ended up losing that game last night. But they showed something at least.
Everybody can beat up on Auburn
right now. Yeah, I mean,
as long as they do what he said last night. Stephen Pearl. Well, we just didn't show up. We didn't show up to the gym ready to play. We lost this game before we even started.
That's maybe indicative of your job that you're doing, Stephen.
Right.
Pearl.
I'm never saying that in a press conference.
Yeah. With the amount of talent you have on that team, they should absolutely be right up there at the top of the league with everybody.
Maybe you need to call your daddy and say, "Hey, what do we do? Yeah. Remind me what we did before games last year."
Yeah, I think he needs to. He's got a long way to go. I think Stephen Pearl. But yeah, the SEC, like you just look top to bottom. There's only 3 or 4 teams where it's like, all right, they're obviously the bottom dwellers of the SEC, but there's 13 teams that are all like, oh well, they could all be tournament teams.
Yeah, the SEC is a really tough league. I think Alabama has enough talent to win it, but I would not bet on it. I would.
No, you just don't know what the hell.
Okay, how much money would you be? I mean, now this is a personal question. Okay, that I probably shouldn't ask. But what's in my brain is how much money would you be comfortable betting and or losing again? Because like to me, I'd throw $25 at it.
Yeah,
I throw
right there, right in that. It's $20-$25 because if I'm being honest, I'm not really going to think about it if in 6 months or not 6 months, in 2 months, I'm like, right. Oh, I lost that money. Oh, well.
Right.
But anything we start getting closer to, your $50 range up to $100, like, I'm like, no, I'll pass because I don't feel that good about it.
Exactly. So James, I appreciate the question, my man. Appreciate you hanging out with us on the Facebook machine. Good to hear from you the other day also.
If you get the team that played against St. John's in Illinois, you can go to the Final Four.
Sure.
It's just a big if.
Exactly. You take that team, you add the 5% you've seen from Noah Williamson into that squad. Yeah. Okay. Like they can compete with anybody. It's just, will you do it? Will you be locked in? And I guess that's the deal with dealing with 17 to 20, 21-year-olds. So Cameron Metzger joins us on Facebook and pivots the question a little bit. Ooh, is it safe to say Greg Byrne should cut the basketball rev share? Whew. I mean, the money could go towards towards the football program. Let's be honest, fellas. The football team is what brings in the revenue for the school. Paying players not to play feels like a waste of money to me. Well, he says, I'm not buying body cramps in his next comment. I'm not buying body cramps, I guess, for Latrell and for LeBaron the other day. Now, I mean, if you're going from that track, then I understand. I don't think that LeBaron and Latrell just poo-nannied out because they didn't want to play.
I think they definitely had something that was keeping them off the court.
Now, I will say, you go to the team and be like, Greg might want to sit them down. Might want to sit them all down and say, hey, fellas,
what are we doing?
Look at your paychecks, right? Oh, my camera is going out. There we go. It's coming back on. Look at your paychecks. You're an employee. You need to take care of yourselves off the floor. Because I think that's a big issue.
I think that's what the issue maybe is.
Quit eating pizza. Quit playing Call of Duty till 1 a.m. Get to bed. Make sure you're drinking your water. Y'all need to stop going to rounders. I don't know if they're going to rounders or not, but I'm just saying if I'm Greg Byrne, I might have that conversation as the quote unquote boss. I mean, I don't want to paint it this ugly, this like simplistic picture, but NATO, it's just like the middle manager, and Greg Byrne is the boss.
I mean, yeah, it's essentially what it boils down to. Look, I don't have the numbers in front of me.
$2.9 million.
Everything looks like
$2.9 million across the roster is what Emily Smart reported this past week.
As far as how much financial impact a Final Four run has on a athletics program on a school, I don't really know exactly. I don't have it in front of me to look at it, but I would imagine that if you can have 2 teams that are competing in the playoff, in the tournament, in the play, like that's a lot better than just 1. So like, I don't really think I'm in the business of cutting funding from basketball. I think, sure, if you go out this season and you have a horrible year or whatever, we can revisit it. But like where you are right now, you're still a very nationally relevant basketball program. You are still viewed as one of the top teams in the SEC. You're still viewed on the national scale as like, all right, this team can compete. So I don't know. if it was up to me, I would not cut funding. I think the football program needs to learn how to use their money more wisely, if anything.
I think they're on that track.
I think they are too.
The football team is on that
but
track.
I don't think we should just be throwing more money at them.
Well, I'll ask Cam.
You didn't reach what we wanted you to reach this year. I'm not going to throw you more money for your football team.
Right. I'll ask Cam. Like you take that 2.9 and you give it to football. Do you divide it by 3 players?
Yeah,
do you divide it by 4 players? Or do you take the
Cam Coleman?
Right. Do you take the 2.9 and you say, please come Damon Wilson, please come Jordan Seaton? Like you can have it all. And the basketball team is now just what's the kid that was at North Alabama that was
There's a bunch of Lawson Schaefer's out there.
Well, that yes. Who is the Tommy?
Tommy.
Tommy
Started with an M.
Is it Moffitt? That's not right.
Tommy Moore. Was that it? I don't know. I know who you're talking about though. Our old friend from Tide Shutdown Man wouldn't let us hear the end of it.
Tommy Murr.
Tommy Murr. I think that's it.
Yeah, basically,
like all time, leading scorer in Alabama at basketball, high school basketball history. Ended up at North Alabama, barely making a difference.
Yes, it is Tommy Murr, a highly decorated guard, Lipscomb player, right? UAH, Alabama Huntsville. So he'd be basically, hey man, come play for the Tide.
That's what it would be. Like
you'd get wiped.
Yeah,
you'd get wiped
Nate
off
Oates
the
is
floor.
gone. You can say goodbye to him if that's what happens. Like I don't know. I'm all for getting as many programs competing for the championship in whatever respective sport they are in. Like, get as many teams in that conversation as you can. Get as many different sports programs in that conversation as you can. Don't,
because basketball does make money also.
Yes.
Basketball is one of the, you have football, men's basketball making money a little bit,
yeah,
and
not much,
softball pretty much breaking even. Everybody else is
operates
costing. Yeah,
but that's every college everywhere, and not even every college everywhere has basketball making money. A lot of basketball teams operate at a loss, and they are subsidized by the football program at said school. So like you have a good thing here with the basketball team. You've got a world-class basketball coach. You have an elite roster. You can compete for championships.
I don't know if it's elite, but it's pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah.
You have some elite pieces.
LeBaron
Philon,
LeBaron's going to be a
take
top
over any game.
LeBaron's a lottery pick.
Yeah,
he's going to be a top
Allen's
12
first-round pick.
Don't say that again.
I saw it yesterday for the first time.
Yeah, don't say that again.
Non-ESPN mock draft, but had him at, I think, 14 or 15.
Yeah, surely these NBA teams aren't scouting very well. Don't. Nate Oates needs a, hey, you can't come to our building. You can't come to our practice. We're hiding all of our goods.
Yeah. You got 2 first-round picks on this basketball team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. You should. Greg Burns' job is to make sure the entire athletic department is as successful as possible. It is not to let me prop up the football team. I know that's not what everybody wants to hear who are football fans, but that's what his job is. His job is to make sure
Cameron,
everyone
are you
succeeds.
a fog? Are you a fog? Are you a football only Gump? No, you're not. You love the Tide in every athletics department. But you could go the other way. You've got people that are Boggs, basketball only.
Yeah, not for that side either.
Those are strange people.
That's an interesting group right there.
Yes.
Football obviously is the breadwinner. I'm not arguing with you there. But I think Greg Burns' job is to make sure everyone is successful, and he's done a pretty daggum good job of that.
All right. Well, we've had a lot of fun on the comments already. Appreciate you, James Ludeman and Cam Metzger, hanging out with us, asking us some questions. Appreciate you, Keith Connell, leaving us a comment as well. We talked a little bit about Yhonzae Pierre. Let's talk about some transfer portal targets that are still out there. Look, let's start with Jordan Seaton, because I've been seeing that
It's not happening, folks.
No!
It's not happening. That 2.9 from the basketball team, not even that would get him here. He is going to make 4 to 5 from whatever team offers him.
That's ridiculous, but yes, he is. You're not even in the conversation.
No, so far out of it. I know that he considered you when he was making his commitment. There's a reason he didn't commit to you then. There's a reason he's not going to commit to you now.
Right. You're not even in the talks with him. A lot of people, let's get Jordan Seaton. It'll fix the whole offensive line. Was he really that special at Colorado? I'll ask that question. But 2, just from a purely financial standpoint, you're not offering him anywhere to get it into this conversation. And so for the Alabama fans, because he's going to commit to Texas or Texas A&M. He's going to commit to Miami. He's going to commit to some team that's going to pay him a lot of money. And good for him. Great. Hope it goes well for you. But I don't want to see the Alabama fan base, as soon as he commits to XYZ school, whatever he commits to, well, the staff missed another one. And it's like, well, did you give him $1 million to contribute to the Jordan Seaton Fund? Oh, you don't have $1 million, Billy Gump. Well, neither do I. I'm not shaming your finances there, but like, look around. You don't have the money to be having these conversations. And so you've got to get yourself a Ty Haywood. You've got to get yourself a Caden Strayhorn, which you did. Or you've got to get yourself, you've got to pivot and get yourself, what's this young man's name? Right there. Offensive line center Racine Delgatti. Transfer from Cal Poly,
That's a great
center.
Name.
Let me know if I'm saying this right. Racin. Racine.
That's what I would probably go with.
Racine Delgatti has offers from Kentucky, Michigan, Northwestern, UCLA, Baylor. 2-year starter entering his redshirt junior year, and played center out at Cal. Like, you get yourself a center, you're pretty much almost set at offensive line, at least for starters wise. 6'4", 310. Obviously, you got your California connections with all the staff. Okay. I think that you can pivot. Like, even this young man, Delgatti, you're competing with Kentucky, Michigan, Northwestern, UCLA, Baylor, and it's like, this is now Michigan a little more wealthy than you are Alabama, but you're Kentucky, Northwestern, UCLA, Baylor. That's the kind of money that you're playing in. That's the kind of financial comparables that you're playing with. You're competing financially, like with Kentucky, with UCLA, with Baylor. I mean, Baylor ended up getting with DJ Lagway. Good for them.
Probably where most of their money for this year went.
Yeah, I think that you get a guy like Delgatti. Like, you got to look at fit.
Yeah.
You want Jordan Seaton? Well, you've already got Michael Carroll, Ty Haywood, and Jackson Lloyd. 2 of those guys are going to play tackle. Mm-hmm. 2 of those guys are going to play tackle, and the other guy's going to either be swing tackle or be upset and pouting and whatever.
But you got tackles.
Right. You're set right there. You look interior, you got William Sanders, you got Caden Strayhorn, you got Casey Poe who can play interior. Yeah. You're looking okay on the offensive line. You're starting to look okay. You're starting to have some pieces. You got Chris Booker, who's highly, highly talented out of Georgia, obviously true freshman. You don't really want to be playing true freshman on the offensive line. He's nasty. He is, and athletic, and looks like the kind of offensive line that this coaching staff is looking for. Yeah. And so, like, the next 2 interiors, and so, like, if you've got $1 million left, let's go get a center. Let's go get a center with experience, redshirt junior. I think that's the next name that you are looking for. Apparently, reportedly, Racine Delgatti is coming to Tuscaloosa on Thursday today for an official visit, and we'll see if we can't make sure that he doesn't leave.
Just don't let him leave. Yeah, just keep him here. You can have all his things shipped. Just keep him in Tuscaloosa. He doesn't need to leave.
Here we go. Cam Metzger. Could we afford the Missouri kid? He's talking about Damon Wilson, I'm sure, edge rusher. And no, like, I love you, Cam. Thank you for the comment. But it's like, you just paid the edge rusher yesterday. Yhonzae Pierre just got his raise, and I do think Damon Wilson would be a huge get as far as pass rusher, disruptor, but that dude's asking for $4 million
to not be an every down player too. Yeah, like, he's not gonna be an every down player if he comes out. He's gonna be, it's 3rd and long. Damon Wilson, get on out there and go get you a sack.
$4 million?
Yeah, you can't justify that price tag for that.
That's nuts. Now, he's probably not going to get 4. That's just reportedly what he's asking for. He's probably going to get 2.8, something like that.
That's still way out of your stratosphere. It's tough.
It's nuts.
And it's hard. I understand why Bama fans
it's nuts
are struggling a bit to come to terms with it, because, like, you have been on top for so long. You have been, no question, the leading factor in college football.
Right, because it used to be, hey, man, you come to Tuscaloosa, you got the best facilities, you got the best food, you got the best trainers, you got the best coaching staff. You'll be in the league in 3 years if you're really good, and you'll be a lot of money. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you come? Oh, and you'll win a
title.
You'll win. Like, the reasons just stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked. Well, now it's, all those reasons are still mostly there. Oh, but the 7th reason, the finances. Oh, well.
And that 7th reason for a lot of these kids is right up at the top of the list.
Right. Do you want do the other 6 mean number 7 you get a discount? Well, some
people, sure. I think Ty Haywood is a good example where maybe you got a bit of a discount on a guy because he was coming for those sorts of things. I think he was just like Jordan Seaton was. He was an extremely highly recruited player. I'm sure a lot of teams were offering him pretty good money, but he came to Alabama. I don't think Jordan Seaton is taking that route. And even if he did, we kind of just talked like, where are you going to put him? Damon Wilson, where are you going to put him? Paying that much money.
You're going to put him at Wolf? You're going to put him at Wolf?
You tell Yhonzae, hey, sorry, buddy. I know we just spent all this time negotiating so you wouldn't leave, but we're actually going to be cutting your snap count down just a bit. Off to the NFL. He'll figure it out. I guarantee it. I know the deadline was the other day. If you want to go, you can go.
I'm sure. Lawyers.
Yeah.
Oh, I did have the paperwork. Billy didn't fax it.
Yeah. They'll figure it out. I guarantee it. So, like, as much as I would love to have Damon Wilson in an Alabama uniform next year, you just aren't in a situation to be throwing lots of money at mercenary players.
Now, I want you to look up Terrence Green. I want you to look up Terrence Green from Oregon, and let me know if you can find statistics for him because I've got so many tabs open. I'm just looking at his recruitment profile. 6'5", 330. I don't have stats in front of me if he played a lot or not with the Oregon Ducks here.
Okay, 15 games last season, 8 tackles, 15 total tackles, 8 solo, and that's it.
Okay. And that was
that was
as a redshirt sophomore.
Game long. How many games was that in? He played in all their games. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Redshirt sophomore.
12. Yeah, played in all their games.
3 games as a true freshman in 23. 7 games as a redshirt freshman in 24. And 15 games or whatever in 25.
Yeah, 12. I think I read that stat wrong, but yeah, played in all their games this season.
This young man jumped in the transfer portal, 6'5", 330. And I think that I think that you are in the market for him is in the portal. Yeah. I think you are in the market for him, and I think you could conceivably get him for less than the $2.9 million that you would pay Jordan Seaton and or Damon Wilson. And you're looking at the defensive line. I think that's the biggest area of need right now outside of center because of what happened with the Bandit room this year, because of the loss of Tim Keenan. Like, you still haven't really replaced Tim Keenan. I do think Kendrick Bingley-Jones is a big old dude. I do think that Devin Tompkins is a big old dude, but I don't think Devin Tompkins is playing nose. I think Kendrick Bingley-Jones has some experience playing nose for sure. This Caleb Smith from Washington that you've brought in is going to be much more of a 3 technique, maybe a bandit. You're not playing him at nose. And so you look at the nose and you're like, ooh, you've got some issues here at nose. You've got some issues here, like just some personnel issues. You need a nose guard. And I think that, like, while sacks are flashy, Damon Wilson, if you had $3 million to spend, I don't think you do, and I don't think this Terrence Green is going to cost you $3 million. But if you have $800,000 to spend, and you say, "Hey, man, you want to be our starting nose guard in the SEC," I think Terrence Green is a pretty good little option.
Yeah, it's not going to break the bank. That's the most important thing,
right? It's fitting the puzzle in, and that's the problem. Is like
other schools don't. Your Michigans, your Ohio States, your they're not having to deal with that. They just have the money. They can just
isn't that so annoying?
More money.
It's so annoying.
But Alabama, unfortunately, you've got a 1,500 piece puzzle in front of you that you've got to put together.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
And it's just going to create more haves.
Did you see the NIL clearinghouse release their numbers the other day of how many deals they've approved versus not approved? And it was just, it was like a 90-10 split maybe of approved versus unapproved deals. And it's just, all right, that's exactly what we thought was going to happen. Good to see. Yeah, there's still no regulation.
Yeah, I don't think that. Well, did you see the Georgia athletic director basically insinuating that the SEC could break away and create their own rules because nothing's getting enforced? And we're tired of it, and we want to make, have some enforcement and have some regulation.
I could see it. They could do it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, but then the Big Ten would pull ahead. I mean, maybe the Big Ten's already ahead of you, but would pull further ahead of you
Very true.
because they'd be like, we ain't playing by no rules.
Yeah, I mean, it all relies on the SEC and Big Ten being able to come to a common goal or a common
exactly.
method of fixing what's going on. Like, and that's at this point probably not going to happen because you've got 3 or 4 teams in the Big Ten that all just know, well, we can spend more than almost anybody can down there, so we'll just keep doing this.
Ugh. Right. They're like, we ain't playing by your rules.
Yeah, why would they? They have no reason to.
They've been sitting there for 18, 19 years watching the SEC win titles. And they're like, finally,
now we can. Yeah, it just is what it is. It sucks, but Alabama is well behind many other teams at the top of the at the top of the polls each year, money wise. I think it's look, we should be pretty impressed that you finished where you were, honestly.
Yeah, I think I saw this year's roster was valued at $22 million, just behind Indiana, and there was like 8, 9, 10 teams ahead of them.
And that's 17 of that is revenue sharing.
Right.
So you're only getting about $4 million outside of what
exactly. And that's a little surprising to me. But
sure, you would think it was higher, but
I guesstimated $10 million. I guesstimated you were operating on about a $27 million budget, but I think it's closer to 23 million.
Yeah, you are wholly reliant on that rev share.
Oh, crazy! That's crazy.
I mean, everybody. I don't know. It is like we were just talking. Like it's hard to accept that. Okay, we were the best in everything. We had the most to offer everybody, and now you're sitting here and you're like, oh well, we have like we can't compete on that anymore. It's hard to accept. I get, but it just is what it is now.
What we need is one of our graduates to become Mark Cuban, or one of our graduates to get into.
You got to tap into all these NFL athletes that you have.
No, that's not the right way.
They don't care about the Tide, Joe. They don't want to see their alma mater succeed.
But they already earned it,
and they're not going to miss it.
They're gonna miss it.
You think Jalen Hurts is going to miss $1 million?
Yes.
He won't even think about it. What is his contract right now?
I don't know. I feel really icky about that. I mean,
look, I don't love it either, but like that's your alumni base. That's your rich alumni base, Alabama.
That's
it's
true.
Athletes. It's not tech billionaires. It's not oil tycoons. It's athletes. It is what it is.
Yes, but it just feels icky to me because those guys already put in their blood, sweat, and tears into the field, into the team, into the program.
Well, then turn around and help other people do it. I don't know. That's all. That's all you got. That's your alumni base. It's
that's true.
Athletes.
That is true. Cam Metzger said it would be a much more even. There you go. It would be a much more even playing field if they cut out the NIL part and just make it the school rev share. Yes, exactly.
But how do you do that? You can't do that now. Cat's out of the bag. You can't tell. You are in a situation where you cannot tell these kids now, hey, we're going to limit your ability to make money because they just sue you and then they win.
Well, here's the issue, and Cam's right. The issue is make the 17, make the 20 and a half, whatever. That's your salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
Because NIL has always been bleeped. It's always been bleeped because people have used it as salary, but like, that's not how it goes in the NFL. That's not how it goes in professional sports. That's not and like if we're gonna be NFL light, okay, it's fine. But let me tell I'll just get inside. Like Caleb Williams is making X dollars from the Chicago Bears, and that fits under the salary cap. That fits under the NIL rev share, $20.5 million, right, for Austin Mack or Keelan Russell, right? Whatever they're making, that comes from that. If Caleb Williams, my man, does a Gillette commercial, does a State Farm, look, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has done all the State Farm commercials. Like, boom, he can make extra money, and it's visible. Like, that's where, that's what drives me nuts.
I mean, you still run into issues, though, just because of, like, all Mark Q. Larry Ellison has to, hey, buddy, let me get you in an Oracle commercial. We'll pay you $40 million for it.
That's a little, okay, that's fine. But, like, I think that's okay. I do think that's okay. With the clearinghouse needs to actually
grow a pair.
Yes. Actually, hey man, I don't think that your appearance in that commercial is worth $40 million. Now, look, Nike, Oregon, if you want to say what do they do for shoe deals, right? We're
Yeah,
going to give you a shoe deal. It's $100 million.
Whatever
Like,
it is, sure.
okay, like if you are the baddest of the baddest dude and you got a shoe deal for Nike and you're going to Oregon, okay. And like maybe that will create further problems. But to me, it's the straight up, oh, this $2 million is for NIL. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Come do an appearance at my company. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Like it's not real.
I think that's all it would still just be.
It's just not real NIL. It's just not real,
Like we obviously can't trust the clearinghouse. We've seen at this point. It's been however many months that they've been active, and they have not. It was like, thousands of deals have been approved versus like a couple hundred not approved or something. Like it was crazy the cavernous hole between those two sides.
If Dream Man Barbecue wants to put Yhonzae Pierre on the billboard eating a big old rib and pay him $50K for it, cool.
That's awesome.
I think that's what it should like.
But Michigan has the ability to, like I said, just say, all right, well, buddy, let me get you in this Oracle ad, and Larry Ellison will back up $40 million. Like, you still are in the same spot there as you are now. You don't have the alumni base that has access to these companies, to these brands, to these things like that to give you that kind of money. So you're still gonna be way behind when you're competing.
But it would
all we can do is offer you, hey man, Dreamland will put you on a billboard for $50,000. Like that's nothing.
It would curb it a little bit. A little
maybe.
Bit. A little bit.
If we could trust the clearinghouse, but we can't.
Cam's absolutely right. Because like NIL is not actually NIL, it's pay for play. And these
but
colleges
it still would just be that. Like it would still just be, hey man, I'll get you this big NIL deal if you come here and play. Like it would still just be that.
Turn them into employees then.
That's what it should be.
Turn them into employees and let's admit that we are paying them to play football.
Yeah. That's what it should have been from the beginning. But everybody wants to keep up this ruse of amateurism.
Right. The colleges don't want to take responsibility for that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to take responsibility for that, and they want to put the responsibility on Cam Metzger to sign up for Yale, Alabama to, hey, man, give me your $50 a month. It's going to make sure that we keep Yhonzae Pierre.
Ridiculous. It's gross. It's gross what it's come to.
I don't like that at all. I don't like it at all.
But yeah, I mean, any way you slice it, Alabama is just behind the 8 ball here. We can do all kind of regulation and things, but until you literally put every team on an even playing field, Alabama is just going to be behind. It is what it is.
Gross. Terrible. Gross. Let me tell you about Purple Turtle Roofing, and then we'll probably get out of here. I got one more topic in my brain, but we are presented by Purple Turtle Roofing. We missed you, Brax Garrison. Brax texted me this morning, said he had a family emergency. So I'm praying for you, Brax. Hope that your family emergency resolves itself, of course. So make sure you're thinking about Purple Turtle Roofing. Call them today at 877-787-6635 for your free roof inspection. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacements, insurance claim support, and more. Call them today, like I said, at 877-787-6635. They'll come out, give you a free roof inspection, let you know what your roof looks like, how many years of life it's got left on it. Look, we had some storms a little bit yesterday, and looks like some winter storms ahead this weekend. So you want to make sure that your roof is doing good so that your home is secure. Call them at 877-787-6635. Purple Turtle Roofing, roofing with heart, built to last. All right, so we're on this track of NIL, and we're on this track of how the roster looks. We've talked about a center. We've talked about a defensive lineman that you need. I want, Mason, your opinion on the rest of the linebacking core. You've got the Wolf Room, which is basically Yhonzae and Justin Hill and a bunch of incoming freshmen. Okay, so not too bad right there. The inside backers, you bring in Caleb Wooten, correct is his name, from Virginia Tech?
Okay.
Woodson.
I was like, that's close, but
Caleb
not quite
Woodson.
right.
Caleb Woodson. Sorry, the brain fog getting me a little bit. Caleb Woodson from Virginia Tech. You've got Caden Jones and QB Reese, and you've got the 3 freshmen from last year that have all stayed, Luke Metz, Duke Johnson, Abdul Sanders. So how do you feel about the inside backer room? Because that's what? That's still 6, right? Caleb Woodson, QB Reese, Caden Jones, 3. Luke Metz, Duke Johnson, Abdul Sanders, 6. How do you feel? And all those guys, most of those guys played special teams and played sporadically defensively this year. Are you good at inside or backer? Because I think we're on the same page. You're good at DB, corner, safety. You're
good.
You're loaded.
Yeah.
And my opinion is that the defensive line needs another body or two. And I think the Wolf room is pretty much set. I mean, look, if you can get somebody that's a hungry son of a gun that comes for free, great, you'll take him. But I think you're pretty much set there. The inside backer room, how you feel right there?
Cautiously optimistic. I think they all, I think the potential is there of all of those players. I feel, I think I like all those players, for the little bits that we've seen of them. I think they're all pretty good, but it's just very inexperienced. And that's an important position. That is a position with a lot of moving pieces in and around it. Even the transfer you bring in is a former safety. He hasn't spent a ton of time at linebacker. So, I am optimistic. And then I think they're all good players, and I think the potential is there for them to be a really good group. I just think it might take a little longer than we want it to for them to all really get comfortable. And you to have a guy who is like solidified, bona fide, this is our linebacker, this is our inside backer. Cautiously optimistic is probably the best way to put it.
I think you could be set there.
I wouldn't hate getting a guy that has a lot of college football experience just to bring him in.
Old Man River.
I wouldn't hate it.
Nakai Hill Green Part 2.
Basically. Wouldn't be super upset with that.
But
I don't think you need it.
I'm also with you on cautiously optimistic. I am. I think that, I love me some Luke Metz. I really like Caden Jones also. And I really like QB Reese. I think those 3 guys look like stud. And did you say Abdul Sanders? Last spring, all you heard was Abdul. He's making plays.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the theme of this 2026 season is young, talented, but inexperienced, learning on the job.
Yeah.
Better grow up fast.
And you can look, if you can put together a strong season, you feel pretty good about going into 2027. I would imagine.
Retain and develop. Like the groundwork is being laid by this staff. Now, does it look concerning because you don't have Damon Wilson, you don't have superstar XYZ, you didn't get Cam Coleman, established player, you didn't get, Hollywood Smothers, established player? Yeah, I understand that. You saw those 3 guys specifically with college production, and you want to get them on your team.
Don't blame you. I did too.
Not at all. I don't blame. I don't blame you one bit. I don't. But the staff, I feel like, has been pretty transparent in recruit high school, retain and develop, develop and retain. And
I think even in the recruiting, they do a really good job of identifying guys that are maybe a little bit under the radar.
I mean,
Lazier Brooks, perfect example.
Lazier comes to mind for this class coming up.
I know Corey Howard this year was a Georgia commit, but only a 3-star prospect, and you get the flip there. I think they do a good job identifying talent and, like you said, retaining and developing.
Yeah, I was thinking about Rael Kelly.
Great one, yeah. I'm super excited.
Rangy safety.
Really fits the mold of what they want there.
Right. I think that the groundwork is being laid by this staff, and it's just now it's a risk for sure. And if it turns into a 7-5 this coming year, that's
another conversation.
That's going to blow up in their face, and they're probably not going to get another year. But if you play at 10-2, if you play at 9-3, I think that that's going to give you a lot of, hey, maybe they do know what they're doing.
Yeah.
If you play at 11-1, you're going to be awesome. You're going to be feeling great about it. I think you might have I think you have superstar potential in the quarterback room.
Yeah.
Which I love you, Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson, but the last time you had superstar potential, like Ty was really good this year as a quarterback until he got hurt. And Jalen had superstar qualities as far as running the football and being that dangerous, being that explosive.
But this would be the most dynamic quarterback you've had since maybe Bryce.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Bryson Tua, kind of in that realm of, I can just spin that bean, baby. I think the groundwork's laid for, hey, just row that boat. Just pull the rope in 26, and let's see what happens. Oh yeah, I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about the whole season.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think this team has very good potential. I think you have a lot of good pieces. It's just inexperienced and it's young. You're going to have to learn on the fly. You're going to have to figure out how to do things as they come to you, rather than being able to sit behind and learn for a while and then finally step into your opportunity.
Racing Delgatti, want to repeat this. The center from Cal Poly is reportedly visiting today. Bama Online is reporting that. And then we talked about Terrence Green. Terrence Green, Bama Online has reported that he is visiting on Friday. Defensive lineman, 6'5", 330-pounder, number 8 defensive lineman in the On3 industry ranking. So I want to give credit to Bama Online for those two reports that those two guys are visiting this week. Look, I think you could just make a couple more selective additions, especially up front.
Play the money ball game.
And you'll be there.
Yeah, I think so too. Even if this season, like you said, they're not coming back if they go 7-5, but a 9-3, it is dependent, I think, on how you lose the. Like, if you're able to show with a 9-3 record, hey, we got a really young.
You got to
team.
Stop getting your ass blown out.
That's what it is. Like, if those 3 losses are 3 close games where you're right there in it, and it's like, hey, a couple snaps go our way, we're undefeated. That's a lot easier pill to swallow than, we got blown out 3 times at home or on the road, whatever it is.
Yeah, you got to stop getting blown out. That's the big factor. Mason, that's all I got today. I wanted to talk about the defense. I wanted to talk about Yhonzae. We appreciated it. We got a lot of comments from Cam and from James Ludeman and from Keith Connell. So I appreciate everybody commenting, giving us some directions to go. You got anything else on your brain today, man?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, follow Mason Woods for all his recruiting coverage at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. We'll be following these visits. We'll see if look, man, 4:00. Racing Delgatti commits to the Tide.
Let's see what we got.
Tide! I'd be starting to feel good about this offensive line. Like right now, offensive line, a lot of young, a lot of talent, a lot of these guys look like what they say they want to get. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not going to sit here. I will not for the next 4 months. 5 months.
Not doing it.
Talk about top 5 offensive line.
Not doing it.
Not like that. There's nothing that could happen between now and August that's going to make me go top 5 offensive line in the country. No, there's like literally nothing. But I'll feel better about it, and I'll feel like, okay, maybe it is going in a direction, the Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb direction.
Yeah, I mean, that would really indicate to me that this staff, has regained their grip on this program. Like, because it felt like for a second there, for 24 hours or so, it was like, and it's slipping and it's gone.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. 4:00, 5:00, Racing Delgatti. Maybe he commits to the Crimson Tide. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe he doesn't. We'll see how his visit goes. Maybe he comes to Tuscaloosa. It's like, Alabama? I played at Cal Poly. What the heck is this? But no, Alabama is beautiful. I love the city of Tuscaloosa. I love West Alabama. And I appreciate everybody jumping in and joining us on the YouTube section, on the Facebook page, on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. You can comment on the show every day like Cam Metzger did, like James Ludeman did, like Keith Connell did, on the Bama Central YouTube channel, on my own YouTube channel at Joe Gaither 6, on Facebook, where it all is. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and Spotify as well. We appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program. Hopefully we get up with Brax Garrison tomorrow. We'll see if his emergency subsides. We really hope that he didn't give me any details, and even if he did, I wouldn't tell you. I hope that goes pretty well for him and subsides. And I hope to talk to you all again tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither 6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.